Welcome to New Careers Academy, your trusted source for daily current affairs and defense exam preparation since 1967.
Imagine you're 3,000 feet in the air, cruising over one of the busiest cities in the world. Suddenly, your cockpit lights up with red warnings, alarm blare, terrain. But there's nothing outside your window, just clear sky and flat land. No mountains, no towers, nothing. Well, this isn't a movie scene. This actually happened to hundreds of commercial flights flying in and out of Delhi. In the first week of November, pilots were blindsided by an invisible threat known as GNSS spoofing. That's short for Global Navigation Satellite System spoofing, where fake satellite signals are broadcasted to confuse GPS systems. Planes began receiving false coordinates, throwing critical navigation systems into disarray. One Air Indian pilot said that it happened every single day he flew that one. Others reported cockpit system issues, bogus terrain warnings, claiming the aircraft was heading straight into an obstacle that didn't exist. And what's even more chilling, these attacks occurred without any warning. No NOTAMs, no alerts, and this wasn't a war zone or border. It was above India's capital. Controllers had to step in, guide planes manually because cockpit systems couldn't be trusted. This wasn't just a glitch, it was deliberate. But the big question is who did it? And what were they trying to achieve through this? Well, let's break it down exactly what happened. In early November, aircraft flying within a 16 nautical mile radius of Delhi began reporting a bizarre and alarming phenomena. Their GPS navigation systems were being spoofed. Pilots were getting false locations data. Some aircraft systems thought they were miles off course. Others issued sudden terrain warnings even though the skies were clear. Spoofing is more dangerous than jamming. While jamming simply blocks the signal, spoofing sends fake ones, tricking a plane into thinking it's somewhere else entirely. And that's what happened over Delhi. GNSS spoofing, that we call, causes false alerts in the cockpit, adding chaos and stress during critical phases of flight like takeoff and landing. An Air Indian pilot told that he experienced spoofing on every single flight in and out of Delhi during that week. Another pilot reported a fake terrain warning that made him question whether his instruments could still be trusted. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a potential recipe for disaster. Some flights reported problems immediately after takeoff, while others were hit mid route. In most cases, it required immediate manual intervention. Even more concerning, there's no official warning to an airline or pilots. Normally, if military exercises or VIP movements generally disrupt signals. Or NOTAM, which is a full form of Notice to Airmen, is issued. This time, nothing. No heads up, no explanation, just blind confusion. Controllers on the ground had to manually guide aircraft, giving them direct instructions to keep them on course. That's a huge burden on both air traffic controllers and cockpit crews, especially during peak hours at one of India's busiest airports. Spoofing incidents aren't new. They have been seen in conflict zones like Russia, West Asia, and on India's borders with Pakistan and Myanmar. But for it to happen over Delhi, an inland metropolitan hub, it's virtually unheard of. Which makes this incident not only disturbing but unprecedented. Now let's zoom out. What happened over Delhi isn't an isolated scare. It's a part of larger, rapidly growing threat to aviation. GNS spoofing is no longer restricted to military zones or enemy borders. It's showing up in major civilian airspaces across the globe. According to 2024 report by the OPS Group, a global network of 8,000 plus pilots, air traffic controllers, and flight dispatchers, GPS spoofing started in early September 2023. At first, it was only affecting a few flights, but by January 2024, an average of 300 flights per day was being spoofed. And by August, that number had exploded to 1,500. In just 1 month, that is from July 15 to August 15, 41,000 flights experienced spoofing incidents. That's more than 1,300 flights per day affected by fake GPS data. The Delhi region ranked among the world's top 10 spoofed zones. Others included places like Cyprus, Israel, Turkey, Russia, Pakistan, and Lebanon. While Cyprus topped the list with over 5,600 spoofing events, Delhi clocked in at 316. And those are just reported ones. Indian border regions, especially Amritsar and Jammu, have seen around 465 spoofing incidents since late 2023, averaging more than one per day. So let's understand what's the motive behind these attacks. Military forces have used spoofing to confuse enemy drones, missiles, and surveillance systems. But now experts believe some of these incidents may be intentional attempts to disrupt civilian flights, especially near conflict zones. It is not just a technical glitch, it's a geopolitical weapon. And the aviation world isn't ready. Spoofing doesn't actually crash planes thanks to redundant systems like the internal reference system, but it creates uncertainty, extra workload, confusion, and in aviation, those split seconds of doubts can mean the difference between safety and disaster. Imagine if something like this can happen in Delhi, what spoofing, in the entire world is happening. The international aviation community is taking this seriously. In September, a plane carrying the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen experienced GPS disruption while approaching southern Bulgaria. The pilots reportedly had to rely on paper maps after the onboard systems failed. The EU blamed Russia for the interference, calling it a part of a broader pattern of hostile actions. Then came the tragedy on December 25th, 2024. An Azerbaijan airline flight crashed in Kazakhstan after allegedly coming under fire from Russian air defense. Following a spoofing event, 38 lives were lost. President Putin issued an informal apology for the same. In India, the government had ordered a high level investigation. The NSA chief, Ajit Doval, is leading a probe through the National Security Council Secretariat. Meanwhile, the DGOC, that is the Director General of Civil Aviation, has issued stricter SOP standard operating procedures requiring all spoofing incidents to be reported within 10 minutes. The goal, well, rapid detection, rapid response, and hopefully prevention. GNS spoofing isn't science fiction anymore, it is here, and it is targeting real flights with real passengers in real cities. The question isn't just what happened over Delhi, it's what happens next. If this alarms you, good. Stay aware, stay informed, and hit the like and subscribe button for more such relevant information from New Courage Academy. This is Hartaj signing off and wishing you all the best.